All right, everybody. So, how are we all doing today? Let's start off with that. How are we all doing today? Hopefully doing well, I hope. CJ says decent. Michaela says doing good. Tired but good. I feel that. I genuinely feel that. We got the same last name, Janicia. Hope I'm saying your name right. I apologize if I'm not, but we got the same last name. That's kind of cool. We might be cousins. No, I'm playing with you. But all right. So doing good, got good, blessed. My brother in the home, man. My brother in the home. I'm glad we're doing blessed. So with that being said, before I get into what I want to get into today, can we just talk about um it's June. Like we are 6 months into the year, y'all. Like we're really like we officially at the halfway point. That's crazy. Like I this year has absolutely flown by. Like mentally, I'm still in March. It doesn't feel like it's June. It really does not feel like it's June. But with that being said, that just goes to show you, you can't take any day for granted. Like, I feel like that's probably the one thing that I've learned just from trading is, because after a while, you just get in this rhythm of, like I'll just break down my schedule for like anyone who cares, right? But it also applies to what I want to talk about today. Every day I wake up at around 8 o'clock, right? Wake up at 8. Uh, Usually I read my Bible for a little while, like 30, 45 minutes. Then I just like check the charts, see what's going on, whatever, trade at around 9:30. Then I trade from 9:30 to 11:30. After I'm done trading, I'll go downstairs, eat. I do intermittent fasting, so I always eat my breakfast later in the day. Usually get to the gym around 1:30. Then I'm at the gym around 3:34. Come home, take a little nap, whatever, do this, whatever I got to do with y'all. And it's just like basically my day is filled from 8 o'clock to around 4:30, 5 o'clock at the end of the day. And then if I have classes to teach, whatever the case at night, then there's that too. But nonetheless, it just goes to show you how when you're in a rhythm and you're just doing the same things day in and day out, day in and day out, you really can almost not lose track of time, but you lose track of how fast time is moving. And this year, especially, like I said, I'm still mentally in March, which is crazy. But with that being said, y'all know how I'm going to start off with this. So, who has been implementing everything that we've been teaching, practicing good risk management, cutting those losses when you don't need to take the full L? Anyone have any big days? How we been trading? That's what I want to know. That's what I care to know. Who's been doing good? Who's been doing bad? But let's start off with the good. Who's actually been improving? Took an L today, but ended green. That's what we like to see. That's what we like to see. Hey, Nahome, tell me about it. Tell me about it, bro. A lot of improving. You were always capable of it, unique. Shar, not surprised at all. I've been trying to apply risk management even on paper trading so I can get good habit. Yeah, no, I agree. When it comes down to it, I try my best to push everyone to paper trade, just due to the simple fact of there's no reason for you to jump into the live environment if you're not ready for it, because it's like there's really no difference. I mean, well, there no, I lied. There's a big difference between the live and paper. I was just thinking about futures, for example. But when it comes down to it, though, paper trading is like practice, and then live environment is your game day. That's your game time, so it's time for you to show up. And the more practice you get, the better. And I feel like as long as you're getting real experience, taking those real wins, real losses, real hard trades, day in and day out, eventually you just stack and you grow, and that's really the whole point of it. But like I tell everyone, the best teacher, the best mentor you will ever meet in life is these charts, because these charts will teach you exactly who you are, and they will show you where you need to improve, where you need to get better at, and everything else like that. And like I will always preach to you guys every single week. I came across something on Twitter, and this dude was so right. There, there are hundreds, probably thousands of trading strategies that work, but it's not the strategy that makes the trader. It's the trader that makes the strategy. Just how I tell you all the time, it's not the trade that makes the trader, it's the trader that makes the trade, right? A trade is a trade, a strategy is a strategy. You have to be the one to conform, change, and adapt your mindset to however it is that you like to trade. And with that being said, one thing that I need everyone here to accept, because it is the honest truth of the situation, all strategies work, right? But not all strategies work every day. And what I mean by that is I want everyone here to accept there are certain days you are supposed to lose, and that is okay. Not every strategy is going to work every day. And the reason why you're going to lose is based on, your trading style. Now, some people might be like, oh, well, then what strategy should I go to so I can avoid that? Is losing in trading unavoidable? Is that something that we can run away from or anything else like that? Exactly, it's not. You are eventually going to lose. You don't know when, you don't know how it's going to happen, but you're eventually going to lose a trade. And that's just the natural part of trading. Because once again, if you get into this vicious cycle of not wanting to lose and thinking that you're going to find the holy grail, it doesn't exist. The holy grail of trading, of how to trade, exists within you. You are the key, you are the secret to your own success, which, like I personally tell you guys all the time, I wouldn't want to have it any other way. I love the fact that my success and my failures are completely contingent on me as an individual, because I know that if I win, if I succeed, it's all my fault. It doesn't really matter. I have to be the one to take full accountability for everything that happens in the market, as I encourage you all to do the same. So, once again, understand that not every day are you supposed to win. Now, that doesn't mean that you're supposed to go on a vicious losing streak, but just understand that if you don't win a certain day or even for a couple days, that's completely fine. Losing is just a part of the game. It's how you grow, it's how you get better. I don't know a single trader that has learned more from wins than they have from losses, because it's when you lose is when you can really sit back and digest and take a look at what went wrong and where you can improve on. Now, with that being said, with 6 months left in the year, all right, if you've really been on these charts, if you've really been active, if you've really been on top of everything, every day is a day to lock in, but these last 6 months, you need to really, I'm talking like lock in and throw away the key. And the reason I'm saying this is like, I'm not trying to sit here and say that anyone here can change their life in 6 months. Could it happen for someone here? It's possible, but keeping everything in the realistic terms, right? I was able to change my life last year in the last 6 months of the year. And like I tell y'all all the time, whatever is possible for me, whatever you see any of the mods have, I promise you, like on everything I love, y'all can do the same thing. But the level of like being locked in and being obsessed and just living and breathing what it is that you're trying to do needs to be unparalleled compared to the previous 6 months. Now, once again, I can say it's I'm blue in the face. I'm going to keep on emphasizing on it, right? The better you are as a person, the better you are as a trader. When you get better as an individual from fixing how you obsess over this, don't do that. Avoid going here, and not like all the little things that play into your psychology. You guys do not understand how much it impacts you. Like I think I said a couple Zooms ago, there are very, very, very few people on this earth from a sport perspective that can be lazy, not show up, not do the things that they're supposed to do, but come game time, flip that switch, and all of a sudden they're a completely different individual. That is probably 1 in every million, and it's still probably even like crazier numbers than that. So what am I trying to get at by that? You guys need to stop avoiding the work that has to be put in when it comes to the changes you need to make within yourself and on these charts. Everything that you're avoiding off the charts, I promise you, will always show up once you're in a trade, once you're like in a funded, once you're on your personal. It's always going to show. You cannot avoid yourself. And like I say all the time, accountability is the biggest superpower. If you can learn to hold yourself accountable, if you can learn to take it to the chin, if you can learn to just look yourself in the mirror and say, damn, I need to improve here. Man, I need to change this. You know what? Jane always says, stop over leveraging. Why am I still over like doing it on my positions? Jaden always says, don't get in 2-3 minis if you're on this type of account. Why am I in 5? Don't rush it. I tell y'all the same things week in and week out. And trust me, I'm always going to continue to do so. But just know every day that passes by is a missed opportunity to improve yourself. Even going back to the phrase of just improving, 1% better every day, that gradually builds over time. I promise you, the only way you get to where you want to go in life is by changing who you are. And when you change who you are, you end up changing your environment. You end up changing things for your life. I am blessed and thankful to God first that I've been able to change my life through trading. But I promise you guys, the only way I was able to do that was when I changed my heart first, and then I changed my mindset. That's the only way you're going to get it done. You cannot be, I don't care really who you are right now. If it was working for you, you would be where you'd want to be at in life by now. And that's just the brutally honest reality. The brutal honest reality. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that because that's something I had to accept. I had to accept the fact that, okay, if my way would have worked, if how I approach things in life was working, I wouldn't be in this position that I'm in. I wouldn't be unable to grow my account. I wouldn't be unable to control my emotions. But I had to grow, just how all of you have to grow. And it's not necessarily fun at times. It's not necessarily like something that you want to do, but wants and needs. This is something that you need to do because it's crucial and it's a major pillar in terms of your trading success. Now, with the one quote that I want to talk about tonight is this. Engage in trading wholeheartedly, accept any outcomes and learn from them, and above all, remember to apply what you learned. I promise you this, guys. The less attached you are to every position that you take, the better off your trading will be. And what I mean by that is, once again, y'all, I'm not going to say y'all, but certain people, when they get in the position, they're ready to go to the courthouse, drop on one knee, and get married. What do I mean by that? They want to be so dead bound married to a bias, a position, all this other stuff. And they think that they know more than the market. I don't care who you are or whatever the case is. No one is a know-it-all when it comes to trading. Because if there was any type of way to guarantee 100% win rate, a certainty beyond our own comprehension, we would all be millionaires, or we would all go to the one person that knows it all. But that person does not exist, and no one here is a know-it-all. So with that being said, you have to learn to embrace everything that comes in trading. And like I tell you guys all the time, expect the unexpected. Expect that when you get in position, and I posted this in my channel the other day. Now, this is just personally how I trade because it helps me. The owner of SMB Capital, I actually just recently started following him, but I like the things he tweets and everything else like that. But he said something that I personally resonate with. He said that when he gets in a trade, he expects to lose. And that's something so this is not for anyone else, I personally resonate with. And it's not because I personally genuinely believe I'm going to lose, but it's because I'm already accepting of it if I am going to. Because once again, you are not guaranteed to win a trade, but you at some point you are going to lose. So because of that, I go into the mindset every day, I'm gonna hop in this trade. I got my confirmations, I got what it is. We'll see what happens. But if I lose, it is what it is, because it just makes it easier for me to detach from that position, detach from those emotions. Now, granted, I'm completely removed for any and all value of the dollar, because I don't care what no one says. And this is just the brutal, honest truth that y'all are going to have to accept. And once again, this ain't nothing that no one hasn't really heard before. But until the profits you see on your screen hit your bank account, they're just numbers. That's it. They're just literally numbers on a screen. So what I mean is, I don't care if y'all are up 100, 200, 1,000, 20,000. If that money does not hit your bank account, it doesn't matter. You are supposed to, honestly, you can throw all psychology out the window when that money hits your bank account. Party, celebrate, jump up and down, I don't care. But until it hits your bank account, it's just numbers on a screen. And I promise you, once you learn to accept that it's just numbers, literally like the same numbers that you can type in the calculator, that's all it is. That is all it is. So don't get attached to the dollar amount, because once again, that's still active money that you can lose. But once in your bank account, it's locked in. It ain't going nowhere. You don't got to worry about a pullback no more. It's in your bank account. So once again, embrace everything that comes with trading wholeheartedly. Don't get too attached to your positions. Don't let your wins go to your head, nor your losses go to your heart, because I promise you, it's only going to hinder your growth. Everything you do in trading should be even keel. Like, I'll be very interested to see and check how some of y'all's heart rates be when in positions. Like, I just know there's someone here, their heart rate is in the 150s, 160s. I don't know who it is. If you want to fess up, that's cool. But I know there are people in here whose heart rate be beating crazy. Because why? You're too attached. You're too worried. You're too fearful of the unknown. And once again, like I tell everyone all the time, you're going to have to learn to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And the truth of the matter is this, guys, in the unknown is where your success is. The not knowing of what's going to happen, the having to rely on you, trust in yourself, trust in your work, trust in how you trade, just having the faith, that is where your success lies. But where people struggle is because what you have to understand is this about human nature, right? Like, this is literally like at the core of every living, breathing person on the planet. When we as people don't know what's going to happen next, we get nervous, because we like to have clarity, security, in whatever decision that it is that we're making. And when it comes to money, I could give a 4-hour seminar on why people view money how they do, but we'll just talk about loss aversion, right? If I gave you $100, no matter how good it feels that I gave you that $100, if I took that 100 from you, it's going to hurt 3 times more. And that's the thing you have to learn to detach from. So with that being said, don't get attached to anything more than what you can handle. Every position that you take, I tell people all the time, and I'm gonna be real, I learned this from Umar, who I talk about all the time, and it's probably like one of the best things I've ever came across, personally, and it really helped me. Is just, if you look at your total trades in the span of 100, does that one win, big win, really matter? Does that one loss really mean it's the end of the world for you? Not really. Not the span of 100. I believe truthfully, every trader needs to judge themselves off their last 100 trades. Now, why do I say 100? Because look at how much data you have. Look at how many things you have to go off of. Like really, 10 is cool, 20 cool, whatever the case. But when you have 100 trades, you have an egregious amount of data and errors and good things. Like, you just have a bunch of everything. So now you can really judge yourself. Personally, I'm not someone that, I don't keep a trading journal, like I used to, but I do still to this day, I still journey my trades. I still I journal my trades and up to 100. And whenever I complete 100, I go back and I recap every 100 of those trades. That's personally how I stay on top of my game, because if over 100 trades, right, let's say I went 60 and 40. Okay, you can win 60% of your trades and be profitable for the month. But once again, I like to see, okay, losing 40 trades is a lot of trades personally. So what did I do wrong? Where did I mess up at? Is it something that was out of my control? Those are the things that I personally believe that everyone should just adapt psychologically about themselves. And then last but not least, once again, above all, remember to apply what you've learned. Now, I'm going to call out majority of you here. Some of you attend these webinars, you go to the recaps, you've been in Crystal, you consume as much knowledge and content as possible, but you still do the same thing over and over. Ladies and gentlemen, the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different result. Why are you still doing the same things that are going to hinder your growth rather than help your growth? Trading is like a business. Rico preaches this probably more than anyone I've ever met in my life. And it's absolutely true. So I'm going to take it a step further. Once again, every trade you make is an investment. And with that being said, do you want to make a bad investment? If so, by all means, don't care, throw everything I'm saying out the window. But taking a step further than that, every trade that you make is potentially putting you a step forward at bettering your future. Now, why do I say that? Well, if you are calculating your trades correctly, if you are managing your emotions and risk within a trade, and your trade wins, what does that make you? Obviously, money. You make enough money, you change your life. Now, once again, I don't push the dollar ever, but let's just keep it real for a second. You know what I'm saying? The better you are at managing a trade, the better trades that you take, the more money you're going to naturally make. Now, I don't care what profession you do in life, whether it's a doctor, we can talk about trading, an athlete, someone at your job who's a manager. Making money is a secondary result. It is never a primary. No one here ever, I mean, I'm not going to say never unless you're born into money, right? Which isn't a lot of people. Making money is a secondary outcome. What is the primary? The primary has to be your hustle. The primary has to be your drive. The primary has to be your attentiveness, all the little things, the obsession. Like, those are the things that are going to get you to where you want to get to. And like I already said before, at the beginning of this, well, that's a given, Unique, and you and I both know that, you know what I'm saying? But with that being said, if you don't change who you are, how do you expect to get into the space that you are ultimately trying to get to? You know, you change first, and then everything around you changes. But nothing changes if nothing changes. So, once again, what I encourage everyone here to do is, once again, keep taking accountability, keep changing the things that you know need to be worked on. I'm gonna preach every week about managing your risk and all that stuff. I got you on that point. But once again, start applying what you're learning. And here's another thing too. I want to speak on this too. Some of you, you know a lot, but you overthink. Now, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Trading, how do I explain this so it makes sense? Because it's gonna sound like an oxymoron. I don't know the right way to say this, so bear with me. I'm gonna explain it as best as I can. Trading is hard, but it's also not. It's like that scene from Oppenheimer. It's both at the same time. It's, what do they say? It's a paradox, right? Trading is hard, but it's also not. Trading is hard from the emotional, mental aspect when you don't know what you're doing. And even when you know what you're doing, trading is never going to be something that's inherently easy. But the worst thing to do is to know better and not do better. And that's what I'm trying to get at for those of you who overcomplicate, you overthink. And I'm specifically talking about when it comes to actually executing with however you guys are trading. A lot of you have been trading for 6 months, 8 months, a year. Now, granted, well, in the grand scheme of things, that isn't too long of a time. It's still enough to know in 8 months, I can honestly say in 8 months to a year, once again, you have enough trades placed, you have enough data collected on yourself of your rights and your wrongs. Why are you still overcomplicating it? You know that if you see A, B, C is what? It's not a guarantee, it's a possibility. And at the end of the day, I feel like that's all that trading is. It's execution based on probabilities and theories. Because how many strategies are there? I mean, off the top of my head, we got, supply and demand, ICT, and the ICT is like a whole like thing within itself. Break-in retest, order block. There's so many strategies out there, and they're all what? Theories, probabilities that lead to possibilities. But even still, in learning these strategies, some of you have joined Lord knows how many mentorships, and you're still overcomplicating it. You have literally all the information that you could have, but you're still second guessing yourself because you don't trust yourself. And that is the whole issue. If you do not learn how to trust yourself, the issue will never be who you're trying to learn from. It will always be you. And I promise you that is not a feeling that you want. But even if that is you, that is okay. But trading, you want trading to be as simple as possible. And what I mean by that is from a pure entry, exit, risk management perspective. If you can manage your entry, your exit, and your risk management, I promise you guys, there's a lot about trading that can go haywire. But if you can control those three, everything else will kind of sort of fall into line eventually. But the easier you make your trading, the better it is. Like, guys, what I'm trying to get at is this. Don't overcomplicate it. Trading is very much A, B, C, D. But the thing is this, if you know you see A and B, C and D is never a guarantee. But nothing in trading ever is. But that's the whole point about trading. That's why I love trading. Like, guys, I love this. I love what I do. I wake up every day, I'm excited. And you know why I'm excited? I wake up every day and I'm excited to take a risk. I'm excited to take a chance. Because once again, I know that the future I want, and it's not like I'm where I want to be at, right? So the future I want, it's on the other side of my uncertainties. It's on the other side of not knowing what's going to happen. I love knowing when I enter a trade at, let's say, 10 o'clock and I exit at 11:30, 12. For 2 hours, I did not know what was going to happen, but I trusted myself. I had faith in my position. I had faith in my back testing, faith in my experience, faith in every single thing I've done to get to this point, and look how it rewarded me. I mean, if y'all were there in the Zoom that we had on Friday, that trade took an hour and a half to play out, but 250 ticks later, do I care? Absolutely not. But the only way you will ever see your profits or see the way that your trade could potentially pay out is, once again, if you trust yourself. And you do that by not overthinking. Trading is always going to be you versus you. It's never you versus the market. It's never you versus any trader in this Discord or in the world. It's never you against anything. It's always mano a mano. And that's why I will always believe, from an athletic perspective, solo sports are the hardest. I don't care if that's swimming, boxing, wrestling, whatever, any solo sport you can think of. That is always the hardest. Because why? It's all on you. In a team environment, you can blame him, her, coach, whatever. Solo, that's all on you, bro. And to me, I treat trading like a sport. And therefore, to me, it's like a game. And this is one of the hardest games in the world. This is more difficult than chess. I don't care. It absolutely is. Because even in chess, right? Yes, people think analytical in chess and all that stuff. But even chess, you can predict moves ahead. And some people can play it out. In trading, you can't really look that far ahead into the future. You can have an idea, But at the end of the day, it's just a theory and a possibility, a gut feeling, if you would. So nothing's a guarantee. You just have to learn to be okay with that. And once again, there's nothing wrong with that. So nonetheless, I hope that, we all understand what I'm trying to talk about in regards to that manner. So whether you're an overthinker or you're someone who is not doing the work that you're supposed to do, 6 months have gone by. You have another 6 to change your current space. Once again, I'm not even trying to push the narrative that, by the end of the year, someone here is going to be making $100,000, but by the end of the year, whatever. By the end of the year, I promise you this, there's someone here who is not consistent that is going to be consistent, that is going to get those payouts, that is going to not question themselves, that is going to be confident, that is going to know what they're doing, that is going to know how to compound an account. That much I promise you. Now, who it's going to be, it's up to the individual. But when it comes down to it, no matter where you're trying to get at in trading or in life, becoming successful, it just boils down to doing the same things in an insane manner over and over again that compound and grow. If you want to grow an account from $1,000 to $100,000, how do you do that? Compounding, making the right decisions day in and day out, month after month, until you hit your goal. If you want to lose weight, get in better shape, how do you do that? You eat better, you work out, you do the same things day in and day out until you get to your desired weight. If you want to have a great relationship with a partner, how do you do that? By being a great person to that individual day in and day out until your relationship gets to where you want it to be at. Do you see how all that connects? Which is why, once again, I will say it all the time till I'm blue in the face. Who you are off the chart is who you are on it. There is nothing about these charts that I cannot connect to life, nor there's nothing about life that I can't connect back to trading, because they intertwine. Because why? It's you versus you. It all comes in together one way, shape, or form. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about. Now, I pulled this out of Proverbs, and anyone that reads know that Proverbs be cooking, right? So with the last 6 months left of the year, I chose this verse specifically. And the reason why is because I just hope that it resonates with some of you, hopefully all of you. But in Proverbs 13:4, it says, the soul of the okay, let me start over again. In Proverbs 13:4, it says, the soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, while the soul of the diligent is richly supplied. Okay, now let's break that down. The soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing. I'm going to just keep it simple with y'all. A lot of y'all, well, I'm not going to say a lot of y'all. I'm not going to really point out anyone here. But some people want to do nothing and receive everything. Not put in the work, but expect to be rewarded. Rico says all the time, and I agree with him 110%. Now, to some of you, you might think this is extreme, but to me, it's really not. How do you expect to get better when we as mods are outworking you? Truthfully, y'all need to have a drive that we can't even comprehend or match, because that is what's going to propel you forward. And no matter what it is that you're doing, laziness will never get you to where you want to go in life. That's not how it works. You're going to have to sacrifice. You're going to have to give up something. Something is going to have to give, because why? Nothing changes if nothing changes. And no matter how you cut it, that applies to every single one of us. I'm not going to get to where I want to go in life if I don't lock in. Pablo ain't going to achieve the things he wants to get to if he doesn't, do what he's supposed to do. Not a single person in this Zoom right now is going to achieve, get to, be rewarded in any way that they see themselves being rewarded if they don't apply the necessary steps. And once again, it all comes back to you. Everything comes back to you. No matter what you try to point blame or whatever the case is, it's all on you. That's really all I'm trying to get at. But I just chose because when it said like the soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, the reason why that just once again it resonated with me because I've known people in my life, man, they want the Rolex, they want the house, they want the women, they want the this, they want the that. I can name, all the tangible things in the world, but they do absolutely nothing to put themselves in a position to even come close to getting that, you know? And I quite honestly, I don't care what it is that y'all want in this life. I just know I believe in every single one of you to go up and go and get it. And that's what I'm telling y'all. Once again, 365 days in the year, 200 something trading days in the year. Take advantage of every single day, Sunday to Sunday. Not a day goes by. There should never be a day, honestly. And even for those of you that work a full-time job, I worked at one point in time 2 jobs, and at one point in time was working 3. So it's not like I'm just saying this from a perspective of someone that's never worked before. But bottom line is this: at the end of the day, you should never lay your head at night, personally, and think that like, dang, I didn't do all that I was supposed to do. Like, why? And this is just something I personally can't comprehend because it's just how I'm wired. So I'm definitely speaking from a personal perspective. But why wouldn't you want to give your all every day, knowing that it's going to make for a better tomorrow? That's something I can't comprehend if my life depended on it. Because to me, every day really is a blessing. Every day really is a day to better yourself in some way, shape, or form. Put yourself in a better position. Do something. And granted, it doesn't have to be in trading. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It can just be being a better friend, better partner, better at your job. It doesn't have to be, all these examples I'm saying, but to not improve at all, to not strive to get better, like that's just something I personally can't connect with. I don't relate with, because I just feel like time is too precious and life is too short to not take full advantage of every opportunity. And specifically in trading, right? You have to become the ultimate opportunist, because by being an opportunist at heart and in your mind, you will know when to capitalize when opportunity is presenting itself. That's another thing. But once again, with the last 6 months of the year, I just encourage all of you guys to lock in some way, some shape, some form. Your life can change, whether it's financially or it's mentally or it's in your heart. Your life can change, but just know it all starts with you. And that is the only thing I want for every single one of you here. So if you haven't been locked in, if you have been struggling, and once again, life is hard. I'm not making any sort of excuse. I'm not trying to downplay anything that anyone has going on in their life. Stuff in life does happen. But, and as much as it sucks, everyone here should know we've all lived, right? Life doesn't stop for anyone. You have to keep moving forward. And trust me, it sucks. There's been plenty of times where I just wanted life to just stop. Like, okay, can we just put everything on pause until I respectfully get myself together, my stuff together, and then we can resume? But that's not real. That's not even possible. So when your only choice is to keep moving forward, make each step your best. Once again, 6 months left in the year. When December 31st comes, I really want y'all to think about this. When December 31st comes and y'all think back to how your year went, and granted, now this same thing happens every year, but when December 31st comes, do you really want to be the person that is sitting there or being wherever you might be at the time and think, damn, I didn't do what I was supposed to do for 365 days? That is, once again, that is not a feeling I want on myself. I have no idea how my year is going to end. I have hunches. I have theories, right? But I know one thing for certain. I will not be disappointed in myself. I can be upset with myself. I can even get mad at myself. But being disappointed, no. Disappointment, I don't know how y'all's parents are, but I feel like as a kid growing up, if you've ever had a parent tell you, I'm not even mad, I'm disappointed, that's a whole nother level of hurt. And I feel like that's something that, like, from a personal perspective, hurts 10 times more. Like, you're not even mad at yourself, you're just flat out disappointed. That's something I refuse to feel. And that's something I feel like a lot of people should refuse to feel. Because who wants to be disappointed with themselves? You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, sorry if I dropped the hammer on this Zoom call. It's just really important. Like I said, we're basically at the halfway point of the year. So, I just really wanted to just leave y'all with something that hopefully you can just apply for the rest of the year and throughout every other psychology Zoom that we have. But nonetheless, per usual, does anyone else have anything? Do 2 Zooms a week? I'm crying. Uh, does anyone else have any questions they might want to ask? I'll probably stay for a little bit longer. It can be trading related, psychology related. I personally don't care. It can be whatever it is y'all want to ask me. But as always, I appreciate all of you that joined, and I just hope that you take just one thing away that helps you. If you take one thing away that helps you, that's fine with me. I feel like I'm doing my job. I feel like I'm genuinely doing my job. What do you recommend regarding anxiety during a trade and your heart beats faster during a trade? Okay, Nahom, I'm going to talk to you directly on this, okay? You're big in the Bible like I am, right? Can you serve 2 masters at once? No, you can't. Fear and faith cannot operate in the same room. So choose which one you want to rely on. I promise you, that is what I tell myself every single trade that I am in. Do I want to rely on my faith? And what is my faith? My faith in God comes first. But then after that, my faith in my trading system, my faith in my risk management, and my faith that even if I lose, everything is going to be okay. As long as I have those 4 certainties, what's the worst that could happen? That's really all it comes down to, bro. And that applies to any position that you're ever in, which is why I can never get too emotional when I am in a trade, because once again, I'm operating off faith, not fear. And once again, now, while that is easier said than done, I can honestly say the more trading experience you get, the more it calluses your mind, which is a good thing. Now, what I mean by calluses your mind is, you see the same things kind of week to week, month to month in the market. And once you've dealt with enough pullbacks, enough, consolidation, enough, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do, enough trades, you know how to conduct yourself better, which is why I say experience will always be the best teacher. So because of that, I have experience. A lot of you guys don't. So while what I'm saying, I hope it doesn't go in one ear and out the other, the principle of what I'm getting at is what I'm focusing on. Every trade that you get in, I don't care if you trade options or futures. If you trade Forex, find God and save yourself. Because no, we don't do Forex over here. But with that being said, every trade that you take, every position that you get in, you have 2 choices. Are you going to have faith that this trade is going to work out in your favor? Or are you going to be fearful of the whole entire position? That's all it comes down to. Nahom, it's just like I taught you in the mentorship. You have to accept, like you said, you have to accept the worst, which is why I personally, every trade I get in, I promise you, I do not expect to win. I don't. And that's not a negative mindset to have. That's not a pessimistic mindset. It's just more of it detaches me from everything. But here's the thing. Here's the flip side of that coin, right? If you expect to lose, wouldn't you want to put yourself in the best position to win? Hold on now, let me cook. If you expect to lose, wouldn't you want to put yourself in the best position to win? You would, which is why you should be picky about the trades that you take. You should have conviction in every order that you place. Because why? The odds are already stacked against you. So you might as well, put your best foot forward. Put on your best trade possible. Have all the confirmations that you need. So in the event that you do lose, you're okay with it. That's all it comes down to. That's all it comes down to. Exactly, bro. Even expecting to win adds stress. Like I said, like I look, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't have my camera on in the morning because, man, I got the bonnet on. I be in the PJs. I be slouching the chair. I just be straight chilling. So no one will ever see this camera on early in the morning because I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm comfortable. But I promise you, if y'all could see my face, I don't give a damn if I'm up 1,000, 5,000, 500. My facial expressions never change. I can honestly say this much. The only thing, and I don't care who you are, it would get even the most hardened of trader. The only thing that can make me what's going on is if I get a violent, and I mean violent, top in my direction in profit. So like what I mean by that is if I go from being up 40 ticks to now I'm up 240 ticks, I get that is the only thing that'll make my heart rate beat. Because if you know anything about trading, that is a good thing, but it's a double-edged sword. It's a good thing, but damn, this is not a good, like, it's, if you know, you know, because the market doesn't do that day to day. You don't just go from being up 40 ticks to up 240 ticks in a second. So whenever something like that happens, it makes me feel like I'm unaware of something that's going on. So if it's not that, I'm pretty much good though. I can handle everything else. How would you handle it? Uh, I would rely on my, well, for you in the mentorship, right, Nahom, everything I've taught you. That's how I'd handle it. Everything that we've talked about, so where are my indicators? Where is my ratios? Where's my R&Rs? All that stuff. Because why? It applies to any and every situation. And as long as you know what to do, you're basically good to go. So, like I said, there's always a way out. You just got to be calm enough to make those decisions. Shout out to you, Karen. Shout out to you. Hey, listen, man, all I try to do is maybe give y'all a compass that helps steer y'all in the right direction. But any success y'all have, that's not because of me. That's because of you. I promise you, I'm just simply a humble guide. That's all I am. Y'all the ones that are gonna have to do the work. Y'all the ones pressing buy, sell, managing the trades. That's not me. So shout out to you though, Karen. Z, yes. So I currently only do one Zoom a week. Uh, I don't know. Y'all want two? No. I could see. Maybe I'll think about it. Maybe do two Zooms a week. But yeah, for definitely is one. Definitely is one for sure. Oh man. Anyone else have any other um questions? Like I said, trading, psychology related, feel free to ask. I have my emotional battles when I try to. Oh, Janicia, that would make me trip too. That I think that's very justified. I don't think that that's an issue as much as like, that's like what? Like, do you trade options or futures or both? I guess it kind of doesn't matter, but I can just tell you this much. From any trading perspective, if you're trying to close out of a position and it's not letting you close, I think that's a genuine reason to like freak out, freak out. I don't mean like have a breakdown, but so I don't trade options. I would definitely tag Rico, Wall Street, or Sierra in Crystal Chat and ask why I can't close out of my positions because that's not something I'm familiar with. Because in futures, you're always liquid. So not being able to close out a position is quite honestly, it's never something you have to worry about, at least in my experience. So maybe it's because you haven't got filled yet, but I might be reaching for the stars as well. I'm probably the last one to speak on that from your perspective. But I can tell you right now, if I wanted to get out of a trade and I couldn't, I'd probably throw my whole computer out the window. I'm not gonna hold you because I'm trying to get out for a reason, whether that means I'm in profit, whether or not it's a pullback, whether or not it's a news event. I'm trying to get out for a reason, and that's not something that like you can like. I'll put it like this: there's not a single trader probably on the planet that when they wake up to trade every morning, they have to ask themselves, "Man, what am I going to do if I can't get out of a position?" Because that just doesn't even make sense. Respectfully, not that it's your problem or it's your fault, but that's not even something that would ever cross my mind. So yeah, I would definitely ask. I would definitely ask Sierra Rico Wall Street for options. Because like I said, I only trade futures. And because I will say, because you're always liquid, it's not really something you have to worry about. So yeah. I'll put it like this though. You managing your psychology as best as you can, because shoot, I'll crash out. I'll say it out loud and proud. I'll crash out. Ain't no problem with me. Shoot. I'll be at TOS. I can't say that in the recording, but just know I'd be at TOS doorstep. So just know someone's gonna have a bad day at work if I show up to the building. I can't say what I want to say because this is being recorded and we're on a recorded line. But just know if you could read my mind, it's devious thoughts. If I show up to the building because I can't close a position, someone's giving me my money. I don't care how I get it, but someone I'm leaving here with something. So it's really all I can say. Flipping, hey, Shar, like I said, I can't say what I want to say, but just know if I couldn't close out of a position and it's happening to me week after week, I digress. But yeah, does anyone else have any question that they'd like to ask? Any more? Live in the AM? Yes, sir. Only reason I didn't trade today, I just didn't like what I was seeing. Plus two, we had news at 9:45. And I don't know if you're new to Crystal, but I promise you this. If you see a red folder news event prior to 10 a.m., there is a 100% chance I am not taking a single trade till after that news folder. So today we had one at 9:45, and I just didn't like the volume and shift of the market I saw after that. So no trades for me today. But I will be live in the AM for sure. That I will be. Oh man, neck hurts. How do you manage your emotions while holding? Great question. Great question. So it has two things. I rely on my strategy, I rely on my experience, and I encourage everyone when it comes to trading to think in terms of probabilities because that is trading. I was literally just talking about that with my mentees on this for our last Zoom. From an R&R perspective, how does one get a 1 to 10? Or from an options perspective, how does someone see a 600% play? By holding, right? But you have to have conviction and to hold, right? Now, here's the thing. There are days when the market is going to run and it's going to bless you. And then there are days where you're not supposed to hold. You're just supposed to get in, take your profits, and go on about your day. But there are certain things that are going to trend or show and like give its hand away that it's going to occur. Now, once again, this applies specifically to me, but everyone here should know I am a 12 EMA connoisseur. So I'll speak for myself, right? If I'm in a position, right, and I hit all my TPs, but for whatever reason, we haven't, gone anywhere near my EMA and we're just running up, there's no reason for me to close. So, and here's the thing too. I know a lot of you guys can struggle with holding because you feel like you're being greedy. That's why you need to be what? Subjective in your positions. Like, okay, what I mean by that is this. Let's say you want to get a 1 to 3, but you keep rejecting hard as hell at a 1 to 1.5. Or from an options perspective, let's say you want to get 100% on a position, But for whatever reason on this day, you hit 40% up and you pull back, 50% up and pull back, and it is struggling. It's not looking like it's going in your favor. That's where trading experience comes into play, because you know what? Maybe I'm just going to take my profits and live to see another day. Because while today I'm being stressed, maybe tomorrow or the next day or maybe next week, this same play that caused me stress will be the same play that just runs up or runs down and does exactly what I predicted it would do. You just have to think in probabilities. Now, I will say this, it is kind of hard because everyone has a different mindset based on how they trade, different confirmations, different entries, different ways of holding. But the principle of just managing the trade correctly from an emotional standpoint, just saying like, okay, where am I at? Where am I looking for this trade to go to? All those things play a critical role. So yeah, hope that answers your question. Sure. Now you tell them, Shar, for real. Anyone else have any more questions that they'd like to ask? Ooh. How many confluences do you have on your trade? For me personally, based on how I trade, 3 to 4. But once again, that's going to vary from person to person. Now, obviously, the more confluences, the better. But at the same time, too, you don't want to overcomplicate it. Like for me, I might need 3 to 4 confirmations. You might only need two. But I think 3 to 4, no matter what strategy you're trading, I think that's pretty solid. I think that's pretty. That's like it's average. 3 to 4 confirmations. I feel like I feel like I feel like once you get to the 6, 7 confirmations, you're overcomplicating it. But once again, just my opinion. Everyone has their own. So I don't know if anyone here knows, but I kind of sort of know what I'm talking about when it comes to trading. Just a little bit, though. Just a little bit. I promise you, this is not financial advice. I barely even know how to trade for real. Kidding. But yeah, I personally have like 3 to 4 confirmations. Financial advice. Yes, exactly. I am denying all allegations if it comes down to it, Joy. Any more last minute questions? Speak now, forever hold your peace. Till next week, at least. Absolutely, Z. Hope you enjoyed your first Zoom. I do this every week. Respectfully, I do this. This is my passion. That's what I do. But no, appreciate y'all for showing up, man. Appreciate y'all for showing up. Appreciate y'all for showing up. But all right, we're gonna stop the recording here. Yeah, so thank y'all for watching. I'll get this uploaded.